Hello and welcome back to the course on MetaTrader 4. In this section, we're finally going to get down to business and start opening orders. You will learn how to open orders, how to modify orders, and how to close orders. And we will even talk about pending orders. So these are the buy stop, buy limit, and sell limit orders. And you'll learn how to set pending orders, how to modify pending orders, and how to delete pending orders. We'll talk about some additional things like expiration for pending orders and how to use the inbuilt trailing stop for any kind of orders. And also I will tell you what the updates for MetaTrader have been in the recent year or two and how this has changed the way you can operate with orders and the way they're presented on your screen, which we can see an example of over here. So I can't wait to jump straight into this section. Let's get started. Hello and welcome back to the course on MetaTrader 4. Today we're going to switch off one-click trading. Remember a couple of tutorials, or actually a lot of tutorials ago, we switched on one-click trading and we agreed to the terms. And basically what that does is we can click any one of these buttons and right away a order will be placed for us. So that can be convenient sometimes when you need to trade quickly, but because we're learning, we want to understand exactly how to create trades the proper way, the long way. So we're going to go ahead and switch off one-click trading, and I'll show you how to do that. So in order to switch it off, you need to go to Tools, Options, and we're already familiar with the Options tab or the Options menu. And here under Trade, you will find one-click trading. So all you have to do is uncheck this box and it's off. That's it. Now, whenever you click one of these buttons, a trade will not be created automatically, and we'll see that just now. Actually, let's have a look. So I'm going to click OK, and if I press buy, as you see, a window pops up, and we'll talk about this window in the next tutorial when we're opening an order. But the main point here is that I cannot create an order without going through this window. So whatever I do, the trade will not be placed until I go through the full process of placing a trade, which is exactly what we want. And so if you ever want to return one-click trading, you just go to Tools, Options, and you click one-click trading. And every time you do that, you will be presented with this disclaimer, because it is kind of a risky thing to enable one-click trading. Any misclick can result in a trade that you actually did not intend to create. So that's why you have this disclaimer, and you need to accept it. And then one-click trading is on, and you have to click OK. And that way, if I ever click one of these buttons again, then the trade will be placed right away. And it's not actually restricted to only these buttons. There are other ways that you can place a trade, and with one-click trading on, it will happen much faster than through the normal way. So it is kind of a good thing to keep it off unless you specifically want one-click trading on. So we're going to switch it off, and in the next tutorial, we're going to place our first trade through the long method. And I look forward to seeing you then. Until next time, happy trading. Hello and welcome back to the course on MetaTrader 4. Today we're placing orders. So let's jump straight into it. We're going to place a couple of orders, and I will give you yet another MetaTrader 4 tip on how to work with charts. Alright, so let's select a random chart, and feel free to select any one that you like. And let's say I want to place an order for, which one do I want to place an order for? Let's say Euro Canadian dollar, that one. So one of my favorite currency pairs, and let's expand this chart. That's what's going on. This is a 15-minute time frame. It doesn't matter whether we make money or lose money right now. We are just practicing on placing orders. It completely doesn't matter. We're not even going to perform any sophisticated analysis. We can just see that, okay, trends going up, looks like trends going up here. We're not going to check the higher level trend, lower time frames. We're not going to do any of that. We'll just say, all right, how about we create a buy order? So the main way to create orders in MetaTrader 4 is by clicking this button up at the top, New Order. So let's go ahead and click that. And here you have a couple of options. So first of all, you're supplied with the tick chart over here. We have the bid and the ask price, and that's great. So it kind of like for laser specific entries into the market that might be useful, but generally I don't normally use it. Once I've made a decision that, you know, it's a buy or a sell, I would go ahead and just do it. I wouldn't bother about this chart. But anyway, so here you've got the symbol. By default, it'll be the symbol of the chart that you're looking at. So when you have multiple charts like we saw just now, it'll be the chart that is selected. So be careful of that. Always check the symbol. Then you've got the volume. So we're not going to go into detail on how to select the volume, or even more so how to find out whether it should be a buy or a sell and what strategies there are for the foreign exchange market. All of that I discuss in my separate course, which is called Forex Trading for Beginners. If you want to learn all these things, check out that course. It's got some free previews. It's got a good description, so you can find out whether that course is for you or not. And all of that will leave up to that course. In this course, we're just learning how to use MetaTrader 4. So let's say you already know what volume you want to trade, and let's say it's 0.1 lots. Then you type it in here. And you can also select from the drop down, but generally you can just type it in. Also make sure that your broker allows that level of lots. So some brokers, for instance, won't allow a 0.01. And most brokers, like 0.001, you can't trade that with most brokers. So as you can see, it's gone gray. So if you're not allowed to trade that lottage, then it won't let you. Also, this is up to you. You have to make sure that you have sufficient funds to trade the selected amount of lots, but that's once again a question of strategy, money management, and calculating risks. All of that is in a separate course. In this course, we're not going to be discussing that. So then you've got your stop loss and take profit. We won't talk about the stop loss, take profit for now. We will cover them off in a separate tutorial in this section. So let's leave them for now. Here you can type in a comment. So comments are useful, especially when you're trading the foreign exchange manually. Then you can maybe write what strategy you were using. Maybe you can write what mood you were in. I'm joking. No, of course not what mood you were in, but some comments around the trade, like why did you decide to make this trade, or is this your you might have some special codes for your trade. Might be day 1 trade 01 or something like that. Like this is your first day of trading in your practice session for 30-day run, and this is your first trade, and then you can keep track of them like that. In this case, we might say you might just say like some comment that will help you remember my first trade exclamation mark. There we go. So something like that. Then market execution. So here there are two options: market execution and pending order. Pending orders are kind of like delayed orders, and if you click that, you have a different set of options, and we'll talk about pending orders further down in this section. So let's leave that for now. Let's just focus on market execution. Market execution basically means that the order will be created right away. There won't be any conditions that are required for the order to come to life. It means that as soon as you click this button, sell or buy, it'll be created. And all you have to do now is you select sell or buy. And of course, buy orders are conducted at the ask price. So at the higher price, which is this one, or which is this one, you will be paying, you'll be using this ask price to create the buy order. And buy orders are naturally closed at the bid price, which is the lower price. Once again, if you're not familiar with those terms and how and why that works, check out the other course. I discuss all of this in that other course. And the sell orders, they're opened at the bid price, and they're closed when you will be closing them. They're closed at the ask price. So there we go. What do we have here? We've got attention. The trade will be executed at market conditions. Difference from requested price may be significant. So be aware of that. Yes, MetaTrader 4 isn't a magical platform. It can only buy and sell at the prices that exist on the market. Normally, you would find that whatever price is here, you buy or you sell, your trade will be executed at approximately that price. So it might be a bit up or a bit down, because while the execution, as you can see, it's moving quite fast, right? So while the execution was happening, the market might have moved, and therefore your trade might be executed at a bit different price. But sometimes if the market is like fast-paced, moving very quickly because there's some news or some event has just happened, and you see that the market is moving very quickly, then your price can be very different to what you're selecting. So be careful of that, and MetaTrader 4 does warn you about this. So in this case, let's say we want to do create a buy order. There we go. You heard that sound, dish, familiar sound, and there. So your order has been executed successfully. It gives you the price at which it was executed. Of course, you can print, but we're not going to print anything, and you just click OK. And then you can see the order has appeared over here. There it is. So you've got the size, the 0.1 lots, the symbol, the price, the stop loss take profit. We haven't set them yet, so that's okay. And this is, by the way, this is the trade tab of your terminal window. What else do we see here? So we've got commission, swap. So commission, there will be a commission in, if you're using an ECN account, there'll be a commission in non-ECN accounts, or depends on your broker. So you got to clarify with the broker, depending on your type of account, there'll be a commission or not be a commission. Swap, that happens overnight. So if you leave your position overnight, sometimes it will incur a swap. Sometimes it'll actually make you money. It depends on the interest rates in the two different governments that the currencies belong to, or the different countries, and your current profit. So that is your real lifetime profit. So it is taken account into your margin, into account in your equity. So your balance is how much money you have on your account. Your equity is your balance plus or minus whatever profit is here. And let's right click. If you right click and you go to comments, you will see your comment over here. So my first trade. And what else you can do? You can auto arrange. You can uncheck auto arrange, and then you can like fiddle with these and make them smaller or bigger as you wish, or you can leave auto arrange and it'll auto arrange for you. So there we go. That's us opening our first order. Let's open a couple more. Getting carried away with this one. All right, let's make that window smaller. Okay, so let's say I want to, so we've got euro, US dollar, Japanese yen. What else do we have? Let's say I want to trade a different currency. I promised you a tip, so here's the tip. So right now I don't have a currency called Canadian Swiss franc, right? Out of all of them, none of them are Canadian Swiss franc. Let's say I want to replace this chart with Canadian Swiss franc. Instead of American dollar Swiss franc, I want Canadian Swiss franc. All I have to do is take Canadian Swiss franc and drag it on here. And there we go. Now it's Canadian Swiss franc. Similar to what you can do with the time frames. You just switch around the time frames like that, and you change the time frames. Also, you can do that with currency pairs. So you just drag it from the symbol market watch in here. A lot of traders don't know about that. They will go ahead and open a new window and apply the template and so on. But you don't really have to do that. You just drag it on here. So in this case, we can go open up the chart, or we don't even have to open the chart. So we can open order. As you remember, we have to select the window, click new order, then it'll be the window that we selected. The other option, now that we have unchecked one-click trading, we can just click this button, same thing, same window will pop up because one-click trading is disabled, and this doesn't do anything anymore, just brings up that window. Or you can right-click your window and trading, and you can select a new order here. There you go. So there's so many ways to create a new order. All right, so Canadian Swiss franc. Let's say we want to place an order which is 0.2 lots, right? And let's say in this case we want to also buy. So no stop loss, take profit, and say my second order, second trade. We're not using capitals, right? So let's say second trade. Market execution, a buy by market. And there we go, it's done. So you can see it adding up here. And let's do one more for completeness sake. Let's say we want to sell this one. Looks like it's experiencing a downfall. Once again, doesn't matter if we make a profit, make a loss, completely irrelevant. Right now we're just practicing. So right click, trading, new order. Let's say we want to sell 0.15 and my third order, and sell by market. There we go. So now we have all of our orders are here, and we've created 3 orders. As you can see, it's very simple. You just have to make sure that you're entering everything correctly and double check many times before you actually click the button, because once you've clicked it, the order is in the market. All right, so that's us for today. In the next tutorial, we will see how we can close these orders. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, happy trading. Hello and welcome back to the course on MetaTrader 4. In the previous tutorial, we opened these 3 orders, and today I will show you how you can close them. The main way of closing an order in MetaTrader 4 is to right-click the order in your terminal window and select Close Order. This brings up a window where you can perform the closure of the order, and all you have to do is press this orange button, close the order. and the order will be closed at the market price. And let's see how that happens. You hear the sound and it tells you at what price the order was closed. You click OK and the order is no longer here. And then you go into account history, you will find your order here. So there it is. There's our buy order, Euro Canadian, and there's the profit minus $4.76. And also my what I normally do here is I right click and I enable commissions. So if your broker does have commissions, you will see them here, which is also important because they are taken out of your balance as well. So it's good to keep an eye on the commissions, especially in the case if this is relevant in the case if your broker does charge commissions for your trades. All right, so that was the first order. Now we're going to close the next one. Another way is to click this X sign, and because we don't have one-click trading enabled, it still brings up this window. So if we did have one-click trading enabled, just clicking that X would close the order immediately. But because we specifically disabled one-click trading, we are shown this window again. And same thing, all we have to do here is just simply close the order. Okay, and finally right-click this last one, close order, and close it again. There we go. So no more open orders, and if you go to your account history, you'll see that all of the orders have been closed successfully. There we go. As you can see, closing orders is also very simple in MetaTrader 4. And in the next tutorial, we will start talking about the stop loss. I look forward to seeing you then. And until next time, happy trading. Hello and welcome back to the course on MetaTrader 4. Today we're going to talk about how to set the stop loss. The stop loss is a very important feature for any trading order because it allows you to maximize the likelihood of limiting your losses, potential losses. So let's go ahead and have a look at how the stop loss works. I'm going to expand a chart, so let's look at this one for instance, and we're going to create a buy order. So we're going to start with a buy order, and I'm going to go to new order, and let's say 0.1 lot. And what I'll do here is I'll set a stop loss, and then I'll explain what we're doing and how it is being created with your order. So for the price, we're going to be buying at the market price, which is the ask price, which is over here. And let's say we want to set the stop loss somewhere over here. So somewhere at this level, 146191. Now, if you're not familiar with what a stop loss is, I probably should say this. We're not going to discuss this in detail in this course because it is more of a topic for what is Forex trading and how Forex trading works. So for that, I do have a separate course, which I've already mentioned. It's the Forex trading for beginners. And hopefully you already know to some extent what a stop loss is. If not, in short, in a very rough description, a stop loss is kind of a level that you set that if the market goes against you and passes that level, then your order should be closed automatically without you having to worry about it, so that your losses are limited. But that is, once again, a very, very rough description of what a stop loss is. If you'd like more information, check out the other course on Forex trading for beginners. So here we're going to set the stop loss at the level which you can see here on the right, which is 146184. So all you have to do is type this in here, 146184, and we're going to say order with, or let's say stop loss testing, and we're going to buy by market. There you go. So what you can see here is your buy order has been opened. So that's the buy order there. And that is the stop loss over there. And what that means is that whenever, if the price goes up, that means you're earning a profit. If the price stays here, you're earning a loss. If the price goes down, you're earning a loss, or you're getting a loss. But at the same time, what the stop loss is supposed to do is if the price crosses this line or gets like onto this line, then the trading terminal, or actually the trade server, so even if you close the trading terminal, now this is an important part, this is actually related to MetaTrader 4. So the stop loss is actually attached to your order. You can see it here. You can see that it has the stop loss. And so even if you close MetaTrader 4, the trade server is responsible for closing your order at this stop loss level if the price goes that way. So do bear in mind that, and you will find this like in disclosure agreements of your broker and all of their legal documents that they will aim to close your order at the stop loss price, but it's not a guarantee. So a lot of traders get this wrong, and sometimes this can really lead to bad misunderstandings. So the stop loss is here for the broker to do its best to close your order at that stop loss. But if the price just jumps through it, so from here it automatically just goes there, like to this level here, and there's no intermediary price in between, then the broker physically cannot close your order at the stop loss. Once again, this happens very rarely. Like I can't say how rarely, so don't take my word for it, but from my experience, I haven't seen it happen too often, like huge drops like that. Your stop loss should work normally, and like within a certain deviation, it will most likely be closed, but it still can happen that the price can drop so quickly that your stop loss, the broker will simply not have the capacity to execute your stop loss. So be careful of that, and also clarify with your broker who is responsible for those losses. Like if the losses on your account exceed the balance on your account, who is responsible for that? It's a very good idea to clarify that with your broker, and it's actually a normal thing that the client is responsible for those losses. So those are kind of the inherent risks of forex trading. You can't get away from them, but it's good to know about them. All right, so we've set a stop loss. Obviously, we're not going to wait for the price to go all the way for the order to close, but what you will see happen is once the price is approaching your stop loss over here in the terminal window in the trade tab, it will start being colored in red. So once the price is at a certain proximity of your stop loss, it'll become red here, and once it's hit, then your order will be closed, and in the account history, your order will have like a red stop loss, meaning that it was closed at stop loss. Okay, so that was our first order with a stop loss. Let's create another one. Let's go ahead and create maybe a sell order so we can see how to place a stop loss for a sell order. So let's go for the Canadian Swiss franc, and let's open up this window and maybe zoom in a bit. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to place a sell order. So here you actually can see the bid price and the ask price. So buy orders are placed at the ask price and sell orders are placed at the bid price. So we're going to create a new order, Canadian Swiss franc, volume 0.1. Stop loss. So for a sell order, because you are aiming for the market to go down, your stop loss has to be above the current market price. So we're going to set it at, let's have a look where we want to set it. Well, let's set it somewhere above this level. So 074680, 074680. Just type it in. Great, comment, stop loss testing 2, and sell by market. Okay, so what happened there? As you can see, the sell order was open at exactly the bid price, the white one, not the red one, the white one, and there's a stop loss there. So whenever the price goes down, you'll be making a profit. If the price stays here, it's a loss, like it's a minus on your order. As soon as it touches the stop loss, the trade server should close your stop loss or your order, and that'll be a loss. So, and bear in mind, so this order, this is a good example actually. The sell orders are open at the bid price, but they're closed at the ask price. So you've got the ask price up over here. And so that means that not when the white line touches the stop loss, it'll be closed, but when the red line touches the stop loss, it'll be closed. Meaning that this difference between the bid and the ask, you see, so it's open at this price, but it's closed at this price. So you're already closer to the stop loss. And that's why whenever you open an order, as you can see here, what is this Canadian Swiss franc? This one, you can see that's already in negative. It's already in minus because the red line, even though the order was open at the bid price, the red line is actually like above the green price, and you want it to go down, right? You want it to go down. So you're already in negative because of this difference. And that is called the spread. That is the difference between ask and bid is called the spread. And that is why you are always in negative when you open an order, because an order is opened for a sell order, for instance, it's open at bid price and then it's closed at an ask price. and the ask price is already in a less favorable position for your order. All right, so that was a stop loss for a sell order. I just wanted to show you one more thing. So let's say you go in and let's take this chart, and you want to open. Whoa. You want to open an order, right? And let's say you want a new order and you want to open a buy order. You want to click buy, and then so your stop loss should be below the market. This is the current market price. Your stop loss has to be below, because what's the point of setting a stop loss above? It's not a stop loss, right? It's not going to stop any losses because that's the profit area. So if you by accident set your stop loss too high, so you set it above the market, then your trading terminal will tell you about it. So let's have a look at that. So let's say I want to set my stop loss at 203421. 203421, and I want to click buy. Do you hear that sound? That means that you did something wrong. So invalid stop loss or take profit. Yep. So you can't buy an order, create a buy order with a stop loss above the market price. Similarly, let's say 2.02799, 2.02799. You cannot create a sell order with that stop loss because the stop loss has to be above the market price for a sell order. So let's say sell by market. Once again, you can't do that. All right, so there we go. Those are our two orders, and that's how you set stop losses for your orders. In the next tutorial, we're going to talk about setting take profits for our orders. And I look forward to seeing you then. Until next time, happy trading. Hello and welcome back to the course on MetaTrader 4. In the previous tutorial, we talked about the stop loss and we learned how to set a stop loss for our orders. And in today's tutorial, we'll talk about the take profit. Now, the take profit is an important feature of MetaTrader 4. It's probably not as important as a stop loss because in the first place, you have to worry about limiting your losses and then on you should worry about your profits. But at the same time, the take profit is a very useful feature and it's good to know how to use it in MetaTrader 4. So let's go ahead and find out. I'm going to use this chart for a change, American dollar, Japanese yen. And so what we're going to do to start off with, we're going to go to properties and we're going to show the ask line. Yeah, this is just so that we can see how the buy orders are open at the ask price. This has nothing to do with take profit, but I just thought it would be interesting for us to see that as well. Click OK. You can't see the ask line here because this is the 4-hourly time frame, so we are like the movements here are quite high in pips and the spread is very low, so you have to go to a lower time frame. So there you can see the ask price. So even if we go to M1 for instance, you'll see it even better. And let's zoom in and maybe squeeze this down a bit. So actually let's just zoom out. Yeah, that'll be fine. So there's our chart. Maybe let's get rid of this indicator. All you have to do is right click somewhere on the indicator and say delete indicator window. All right, so we're going to open a buy order and we're going to set a take profit. And take profit for a buy order is set above the order, so somewhere here, and that is your level that you're aiming for. You want the order to get there for the take profit to be triggered for you to earn the profit. So basically your order will be closed automatically. Similar to a stop loss, similar concept, but it's more favorable because it earns your profit. So let's go ahead and do that. New order. We're going to create a buy order with volume 0.1. Stop loss we want to set at 120.500. 500, yeah, 120.500. As you can see, by the way, the quotation for Japanese yen currency pairs are different, so they don't have 5 decimal points, they only have 3 decimal points behind them, and that's because that's how Japanese yen currency pairs are quoted. So just keep that in account. Oh, actually, this is not the stop loss. What am I doing? This is, let's just cancel. So that happens when you mix them up. So that happens. Just cancel it and do it again. 120.500. Take profit. Comment. Take profit testing. And we're going to buy by market. There you go. So what do we see here? So you can see the green line. That's okay. Lots of things. Green line. That's where the order was set. Now look down here. Look down here. You can see that the take profit is green. That's because the price. the price is very close to the take profit, and that means your order is signaling you that the order is about to be closed. The take profit, you might be, it might actually close just now. And so now what we wanted to look at, so the ask price, so this green line is where the order was opened, right? The red line is where your take profit is set. Now the red line, this moving, oops, should have done that too early for that. This red line over here, the solid red line, is the ask price. And as you can see, the buy order was opened at the ask price. So that's important to remember. But it will only be closed at the bid price. So even if the ask price goes over your stop, take profit, nothing will happen. You see, nothing happens. Your order is still open. The bid price has to get to your take profit level. And once again, that's what we discussed in the previous tutorial about spread and so on. So that's the spread between the two. You're always in the unfavorable position. You're always your order is always opened for a buy order. It's opened at the higher price, at the ask price, which is the red one, but it will only be closed at the white one. So basically, your order has to not only get from here to here, but also has to cover this distance of the spread. I hope that's a good explanation of spread. For me, it really clicks like that and really makes sense when I see this happening, and I'm like, oh, okay, so yeah, that's how the spread works. always reminds me that I gotta pay the unfavorable price, and that's how the forex market works. That's normal. All right, so hopefully maybe we'll see this order close at take profit, but we already saw how it's green over here at the bottom, so that's a good thing that we already saw that. Okay, so what can we do now? Well, let's go ahead and open another order, right? So let's open another order for we can even open another order for the same currency pair, just for argument's sake. Let's open a sell order and set a take profit for that sell order. All right, so maybe you might zoom in this time. Okay, so there we go. So that's our buy order up there at the top. Now we're going to open a sell order, and we're going to set a take profit for that sell order as well. So let's go ahead, new order. We want to create a sell order somewhere here, right, at market price, and we'll set the take profit at 120.426. 120.426, and we say take profit testing 2 and sell by market. There we go. As you can see, the sell order this time was open at the bid price, not at the ask price, at the bid price, and now the take profit will only be triggered when the ask price gets to the take profit. So, and that's how the sell orders are closed. Once again, you can see that the sell order take profit is in green, and that is because we are very close to the actual price. All right, so we'll leave these orders for now, and inevitably one of them will be closed at take profit because as you can see, we've created a hedge. So whichever way the price goes, if it goes up, one order is earning money, the other one is losing money. And if the price goes down, then the opposite happens. So basically, we're kind of like neutral to the market right now, and inevitably the price will either go through the top, through the bottom, and one of these orders will be closed, and we will see that hopefully in the next tutorial. We'll see the result, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, happy trading. Hello and welcome back to the course on MetaTrader 4. In today's tutorial, we will learn an interesting thing. We will learn how to set a stop loss and take profit both at the same time as you are sending your orders to the market. But before we continue with that, let's have a look at what happened to our pair of orders on the US dollar Japanese yen currency pair that we set last time. So as you can see, I've got the chart in front of me, and we only have one order left. So there's the buy order, and there is its take profit, and the sell order is gone. That's because the price has reached the take profit and the order has closed. So now if we go into the account history tab, you will see that here we've got our order, which was a sell US dollar Japanese yen at the price of 120.456, and it was closed at the take profit of 120.426. And as you can see, that is indicated by the green take profit. That means it was closed at take profit, and there we have the profit for that order. So now what we're going to do is we're going to close. Actually, we're going to right click and we're going to select comments. And so here you've got your comment. So the comment that we've set, take profit testing 2. But also you can see that MetaTrader 4 has added TP in square brackets to the end of your comment. And that is because it is also indicating that this order was closed at take profit. Now, if we go into the journal over here, you will see that there's also an entry in the journal that order, the number of the order, sell of 0.10 lots of US dollar Japanese yen at 124.56, closed, due, take profit at price 124.24. All right, so as you can see, this everything is recorded, and you can always go back and find out what was going on in the trading terminal using the journal tab. So that's a good example of how to use the journal tab. Now, if we go back to account history, another thing I'd like to point out here is that what you can see is the take profit was 124.26, but the price at which it was closed was 124.24. So there's that 2 pips, actually 2 points difference. So it's not a big difference. It's only 2 points, which is very, very small. But at the same time, it illustrates that while the order is being closed, the price might change, and therefore MetaTrader 4 will actually close at the price that is available on the market. So the take profit was 124.26, and the price was 124.24, meaning that the order was actually closed at a bit worse price than we wanted it to. So no, actually at a bit better price. Yeah, so at a bit better price. So 124.26 is higher than 124.24, but for a sell order, the lower the price, the better. So we actually, through this slippage, it's called a slippage, that the order slipped through a little bit, we earned an extra 2 points on that order, which we're not expecting to. So it can happen both ways. It can happen in your favor or not in your favor. It doesn't. It's not like there's a secret force that is that making these things happen. It completely depends on the market and how quickly the market is moving. So there's another great example for today. We've got so many great examples today, and I wanted to actually share an additional hack with you. I'm just throwing these hacks at you because I want you to be successful. I want you to be very efficient with MetaTrader 4 and know everything about it that I know and all the things that I've learned through my years of experience. So a great thing with MetaTrader 4 that a lot of people actually don't know about is that you can visualize these orders. Like, we're talking about it here, but we can't see it on the chart. But it's very easy to put it on the chart. All you have to do is take the order, click it, and drag it onto your chart. And there you go. So you can actually see that line there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this chart into a line chart. So it's actually black. So I'm going to go into properties and change. So here, line graph, I'm going to change it to, I don't know, let's say like a gray. So you can see it there. So there's your line graph, and there you can actually see the order. That's where it opened, and that's where it closed, right? So as you remember, that's where we opened the buy order with the take profit. That's where we opened the sell order with the take profit. You can see this little blue line over here. That's where the take profit was set, and that's approximately where it was actually closed. So that's how you visualize orders in MetaTrader 4. Although do be careful with this, because don't drag the wrong order onto the chart. So if you, for instance, drag by accident an order from a different currency pair, that can actually change the chart that you're looking at to that currency pair. So that's a quick hack for you. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back into our trade tab, and we're going to manually close this order that we still have here, because it's like we've already seen what we wanted to see. Let's go ahead and close that. So there we go, some additional practice. And now if I go back to the account history, you can see that this is the order that was closed at take profit. This is the order that we just closed, and it's right now they're sorted by order number. So that's why this one's above. If you want to sort by time of closing of the order, then you click this button, and as you can see, this is now sorted at what time did we close the order. You can also drag this order onto a chart like that. So let's drag that order into the chart. You can see that's where it was opened. That's where it was closed. Alright, and now let's move on to our tutorial. So what did we want to do? We wanted to see an example of opening an order with a take profit and a stop loss at the same time. Let's go ahead and do that. So let's pick a chart. Let's say euro dollar. Haven't worked with the euro dollar in a while. And we've got the, let's say, M5 time frame. There it is. And now we want to open a buy order. Let's first of all enable the ask price. There we go, ask line. And now we want to open a buy order. Let's go into here. Let's say 0.25 loss for a change. And the stop loss, we'll set it at, let's set it at 1. Let me move this a bit closer. Let's set it at 1.1029. 1.1029, and the take profit will set it at 1.1037. 1.10337. Okay, so take a profit and stop loss testing, and we're gonna buy by market. There we go. So what do we see here? Okay, so that's the bid price, that's the ask price. As you can see, the order was opened. Let me move this to the right. Okay, that was a bad idea. Let's move it back. So the order was opened at the ask price because it is a buy order. So that's where the order is opened. And then you've got the take profit up at the top here, and you've got the stop loss down at the bottom here. So now if we go to our trade tab, you can see that because the market is quite close, this is only, you know, a couple of pips away, a couple of points away from the price. So that's why the stop loss and the take profit are both highlighted. So this one's in red, this one's in green. And what will trigger either is if the bid price, so this price over here, if the bid price crosses either the take profit or the stop loss. So once again, buy orders are open at the ask price, but they're closed at the bid price. And that's what this order is actually waiting for. So we'll leave that order, but in the meantime, we'll close these because there's no point in them. They've been hanging for a while. Close that. All right, so we just have this one order on our euro dollar chart, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so that's us for today. Quite a few tips and tricks to MetaTrader 4 that we learned in this tutorial, and I look forward to seeing you next time. It'll be quite an interesting topic as well. And until then, happy trading. Hello and welcome back to the course on MetaTrader 4. Today's topic is how to modify the stop loss and take profit after an order has already been opened. And we'll get to that in a second, but first let's have a look at what happened to our order that we had for the euro dollar. So if we go, as you can see here in the trade tab, it's not there, so that means it's closed. And if we go to account history, you will see here at the bottom, it's the last closed order. It was closed at take profit. The take profit is green, and as we already know, we can just simply drag it onto the chart to visualize this order. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's go back here. So there it is. You can change the time frame if that is too small, so you can't see much. You go to M1 and you'll see it there. Personally, I prefer to change this to bars because in candlesticks, it's hard to see this order like that. So let's change it to bars, and you can see that the order is highlighted. And by the way, remember I spoke about dojis. These are dojis when there's no body of the candle and they're yellow. Right now, you can't even see them on the recording. So let's go into properties and change dojis or line graph to black. And that way now these dojis here and here, they're black. Anyway, so that's our order. As you can see, it was a buy order and the take profit got triggered. And that's why it's highlighted in green in the account history. Okay, so now let's move on to today's topic, which is modifying the stop loss and take profit after an order has been opened. So I think we can continue working with the euro dollar. Let's say we want to go back to the M5, and here we want to open a buy order. Let's go ahead and do that. So there's our chart. We just want to, this is our order opening control window. So now we want to open a buy order, and we'll just say modification testing, and we won't set a stop loss or take profit, and we'll just say buy by market. There we go. So our order has been opened. As you can see, that green line, that's our buy order. It was opened at the ask price. Now, it's of course very dangerous to open orders without a stop loss, and personally, I always try to set a stop loss for orders, because you never know what can happen in the market, and you have to know that your losses are limited. And but sometimes it can happen that an order is set without stop loss. So let's see how we can correct this. So let's go into the trade tab, and now we see that here the stop loss and take profit are 0, meaning that they haven't been set. All you have to do is right click your order and select modify or delete order. Now we won't need to delete order, because we're working with a market order. Delete order is for pending orders, and we'll find out more about that in a couple of tutorials. But for now, we just want to set the stop loss and take profit. So here you've got quite a convenient control window. You can actually select what number of points. So you don't just have to type in the price, you can select the number of points. So let's say I want to set the stop loss at I would say, let's say 80 points away, and this is going to be from the market price. And then I just click copy, and it's already copied in for me, and I just click modify, and then you can see that the stop loss has been set. That is the stop loss. And you can measure the distance from the market price to the stop loss, so from the bid price to the stop loss. And by the way, I just realized, I was rewatching the video for the previous tutorial, I realized I haven't explained how to measure distance with the crosshair. I'm going to fix that right now. So we know how to bring up the crosshair. You just middle click your mouse button. But to measure distance, you just select from where you want to measure distance, from here. Then you left click your mouse, and then you drag to where you want to measure distance. So here you can see that the distance is about 78 pips. That's the second item in that pop-up. So the first item is how many bars. So that's 0 bars, that's 1 bars, that's 2 bars, that's 3 bars. And you can go the other way if you want. The second item is the distance. So in points, so the distance here is about 78 points. And the third item, the final item, is the y-axis. That's the price. So 78 points, we did set it at 80. That's because it was, the bid price was a bit higher when we set the stop loss. So it is always set from the current bid or ask price, depending on whether you're working with a buy or a sell order. So we've set our stop loss, and you can also see it over here in the account, in the terminal tab. Now we're going to set a take profit. So we'll click OK. Now we're going to right click, modify or delete, and we can set a take profit. You can type the price in here if you like, so you can find a price that you want, so 1.1045, and you can type it in. Or you can set it, once again, a certain number of pips away from the current price, and let's say we want 20 points, which is 5-digit quotation, which means actually 2 pips. So that's quite a very low price. So let's see if that works out for us. There we go. So the take profit has been set. It's right over there. So it's just over there. That's our take profit over there. So if we measure the distance, it's exactly, well, now it's 21. Once again, price is moving all the time, but that's where we set it, at 20 points away from the current market price. So that's how you adjust the take profit and stop loss. If you want to, you can adjust them again. So you go in here, and let's say you're not happy with 20, you want to set it to 50. You click OK, and you click modify, and there you go. That's it, done. Alright, so that's all for today. I look forward to seeing you in the next tutorial, and until then, happy trading. Hello and welcome back to the course on MetaTrader 4. In today's tutorial, we're talking about the stop levels. There's a concept in forex trading called the stop level, which actually restricts you from placing your stop loss or take profit or any pending orders too close to the market. And let's see it in action, and then I'll explain it a bit better because it'll be easier to understand after we've seen it. So let's go into this order and say modify order. And let's say I want to place the stop loss somewhere, of course, below the bid price, but very close to it. So basically like 10 points away. So not 20, let's say 10. And I copy the price. As you can see, I cannot modify the order. I cannot change the stop loss. If I set this to 20, as you can see, I can change it. But as soon as I try to come closer to the price, I can't change the order. It's not letting me do that anymore. As soon as I start moving away from the current bid price, then yes, I can do it again. But now I can't do it because the bid price has moved. But if I start moving away, yes, I can do it. So there is a limit, or there's a restriction to how close I can set the stop loss to the current bid price or the take profit or any pending orders, which we'll talk about in separate tutorials. And in this case, we're talking about bid price because it's a buy order. For a sell order, the restriction would be related to the ask price. So why does this restriction exist, and how can we find out more about it? Well, this restriction is called the stop level, and what the broker is doing by creating these or implementing these stop levels is it is actually protecting itself and it's protecting you from volatile markets. So if, let's say, you want to set your stop loss very close, you want to set the stop loss over here, right next to your bid price. Well, what can happen is while you're setting the stop loss, the market can move a little bit, and even before your stop loss is set, the market will be already below that price. And so you kind of end up in a situation where you've set your stop loss above the bid price, which doesn't make sense, right? So it means that your order should be closed immediately. And therefore, the broker specifies a level, which in this case is 20 pips, and it says that you cannot set the stop loss within 20 pips of range or the take profit within 20 pips of range of the current bid price, because we cannot guarantee that the stop loss will be executed and set prior to the price jumping those 20 pips. Alright, so now we know about the stop level. How do we find out more about the stop level? How do we know exactly what it is equal to? Well, it's very easy. You just have to go into the market watch and find your currency pair. So in this case, euro dollar. Right click it and go to specification. And in the specification, you will see that stop levels is specified, and here it's exactly 20 points. So depending on your broker, depending on its access to liquidity, on the type of account you're trading, this level can vary. It can vary for different currency pairs, but it's always good to check and to know in advance what your stop levels are for the currency pair you're trading, so that you avoid the situations where you're trying to set the stop loss or take profit too close to the market price. So there we go. That's all for today. And in the next tutorial, we're going to discuss another interesting concept. We're going to talk about dragging trade levels, which is quite a new feature. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, happy trading. Hello and welcome back to the course on MetaTrader 4. In today's tutorial, we will talk about a relatively new feature in the platform, which is called dragging trade levels. Starting from one of the more recent builds of MetaTrader, you are now able to drag your take profits and stop losses and other trade levels right on the chart to modify them. Previously, in order to achieve that, you had to apply certain scripts and third-party programs that would allow this type of functionality, but because it became quite popular, MetaCodes decided to implement it in the terminal natively, and now you can go ahead and do that, and that's what we're going to explore. So here we've got our order for the euro dollar, and let's say we want to modify the stop loss, right? So previously we said we need to go into right click the order, go into modify or delete, and here we would have to set the stop loss. But now what we can actually do is we can just take the stop loss and we can drag it. Let's drag it up a bit. Like just by clicking it and dragging it, the window is brought up for us and the stop loss is already set at what we wanted, and we just click modify and the stop loss has been modified. Once again, we can drag it back down, modify, it's been modified. Same thing for the take profit, you can drag it down, modify, okay. So long as you drag it and you maintain the same within the same restrictions, so you can not place the stop loss too close to the bid price. So let me try to do that. You see I can't do that. The window comes up, but I can't place it too close. I can't place it within 20 pips as we discussed in the stop level tutorial. But as soon as 20 points, excuse me, but as soon as I come close to the bid price, voila, well, as soon as I come further away from the bid price, voila, I can set the stop loss. So it's as simple as that. Another cool thing I wanted to show you, probably we haven't talked about this, you can take the take profit, and the take profit can actually be below your, so let me just leave that there. The take profit can be below your buy level. So as you remember, we entered the position here, right? But now the price has gone against us. So what I can do is I can take the take profit and pull it below So see, that's quite interesting, right? So the take profit is actually below the entry level. And that's totally fine. As long as it's above the bid price, that's fine. This means that the take profit, let me maybe remove this ask price because it's kind of getting in the way. So this means that when the take profit is hit, we will still be at a loss. So, but, you know, like we've decided, yes, this position is going to be a loss, but let's set the take profit here. So the word take profit doesn't really fit the circumstances, but nevertheless, that's how it works. So you can set your take profit. And in a similar fashion, if the bid price had gone above our original entry price, we could drag the stop loss and set it above our buy order, and that way it would no longer be like a level at which we would limit our losses. It would be a level, you know, we would still earn a profit even at the stop loss level. So that's just something to keep in mind. All right, so what do we have here? We've learned how we can drag the take profit, right, and the stop loss. What else you can do is you can take the end level of your order. So if it's a market order, like in this case, it's an open buy order, it's already open. You can click on it and you can drag it. And what happens if you drag it up is you're creating a new take profit. If you look here on the left, what you see is it says take profit. If I drag it down, then it's a stop loss. So it's like it's another way of doing this. So if you want to set a new take profit, you can either drag the take profit itself, or you can drag this level, the buy order level, and it will automatically convert to a take profit when required. So now if I want to create a new stop loss, I can just drag the level here. And that is useful when, let's say, on one chart you have many orders. So if I have another order on euro dollar, let's create another order. Let's say buy by market, right? So there's another one, and there's its stop loss, right? So now I have two orders and I have two stop losses. I don't remember which stop loss is associated with which order. Is this stop loss for this order, or is this stop loss for that order? So if I want to quickly drag it on the chart, then I just select the order itself rather than searching for its stop loss, and then I just drag it, and that way I won't make a mistake. So maybe I want to put them both on the same level. There you go. So there's two stop losses there on the same level now. So that's how dragging orders works. One thing that I would like to mention is that personally I find that it's a bit, how should I say? It's a bit dangerous, especially if you have one-click trading on. So let's go ahead and switch one-click trading on. Let's go to Tools, Options, and in the Trade tab, enable one-click trading. Once again, make sure this is a demo account that you're practicing on. Like if you accept the terms, click OK. Now we have one-click trading on. Now if I drag my levels, I don't even get that window anymore. I just drag them and it happens, right? So similarly, I can just close the order by clicking this button, and there you go. It's done. It's closed. Nobody's asking me if I want to move, if I actually want to confirm moving these levels. So there you go. Like it's as simple as that. Or let's say I want to move the take profit. So as you can imagine, it can be quite dangerous. You're doing things on your chart, you're maybe marking it up, adding some indicators, or doing some analysis, and then all of a sudden, accidentally, you move your stop loss just by accident. And because you have one-click trading on, there's no confirmation required. It's all happening right away. So that can lead to undesired results. So there is a way to add like an additional level of control in MetaTrader 4, and that's what I wanted to show you here. So if you go to Tools, Options, and you go into the Charts tab, you will see here a checkbox which you can select for use Alt key to drag trade levels. So I personally think that it's a good idea to have this on, because once you have it on, you click OK, you can't drag the trade level. It just doesn't let you drag by itself. You have to press Alt on your keyboard. So right now I'm clicking Alt on my keyboard, and now I can drag the trade level. And now I'm dragging the trade level, and that way I know that I have the Alt key down, and I know that I intentionally want to drag the trade level. So there won't be this mistake kind of situation where I'm dragging the trade level by accident. And even if you don't have one-click trading on, so I'm going to go ahead and switch one-click trading off. It's still a good thing, right? So even though I'm going to have that confirmation window pop up, if I want to drag the trade level, I'll just click Alt and I'll drag the trade level. So there we go. That's how you drag trade levels in MetaTrader 4, and that is how you can combine dragging trade levels with the one-click trading functionality to achieve lightning fast trading. But at the same time, it might be a good idea to switch on that Alt key requirement in order to protect yourself from making mistakes while you're working in MetaTrader 4. Hope that was useful, and I look forward to seeing you next time. And until then, happy trading. Hello and welcome back to the course on MetaTrader 4. Today I will show you how to use the inbuilt trailing stop functionality in the trading platform. Alright, so as you can see here down at the bottom, I've got quite a few trades open, and that is because I was searching for one that would go into profit so I can actually demonstrate on a real live example what we are going to be discussing. And finally, I do have one. It's the Singapore dollar Japanese yen currency pair. The buy order went into profit, so we're going to talk about that order. So there's the chart. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to zoom in a bit. So what do we have here? We've got a buy order, and it doesn't have a take profit or stop loss. Actually, I'll zoom out. That was better. Yeah, so there's our buy order over there. The price has gone up, and so that means it's in profit. Now, what happens when I want to set a stop loss? I just right-click the order. I go to modify or delete, and maybe I want to set the stop loss somewhere over here. So let's say 86,130. Then I type in 86,130 and modify. There we go. So that's our stop loss. It has been set. So if the price goes below that, then the order will be closed. Now, we can take the stop loss and we can move it around. If I press Alt on my keyboard, I can move it around. I can even put it above the price at which the order was opened, because the price has gone over there, and now as long as I'm away from the stop level far enough so that I'm not violating a stop level, that's fine. So now if the price goes down, our order will be closed at this stop loss. So even though it won't be a loss, it's still called a stop loss, but we will actually earn a profit. And as the price keeps going up, I can actually take this stop loss and keep moving it up with the price in order to secure more and more profit. So this distance between the entry level and the new stop loss level is called, well, I call it the secured profit. So basically, whatever happens, if the price goes down, we will still secure this profit, and that's a good thing. Now, this is indeed an interesting approach. So to move the stop loss as the price moves up, and when the price moves down, you don't move the stop loss down, so it stays put. If the price comes close, it stays put, but when the price moves up, you keep moving the stop loss up with the price. But at the same time, it can be a bit tiring to do that manually, so there's a way to do it automatically in MetaTrader 4, so let's explore that method now. I'm going to put the stop loss back here somewhere. And this method, or this whole concept of moving your stop loss as the price moves in your favor, is called a trailing stop loss. For buy orders, the stop loss moves up with the price, and it doesn't move when the price goes down. For sell orders, the stop loss moves down with the price, and it doesn't move when the price goes up. So in MetaTrader 4, you can do that automatically, and in order to achieve that, you have to right-click your order and select trailing stop and set it to the level that you want. So we're going to select 20 points. Select that. And now whenever the price moves, you can see that the stop loss hopped automatically to exactly 20 points. So if I measure this distance, you'll see that it is exactly 20 points. Now the price has moved down and the stop loss is not moving. So the stop loss will always be at 20 points or less away from the price. As the price moves up, and hopefully we'll see that, as the price moves up, the stop loss will move with the price. Now, while we're waiting for any movements to occur, what I wanted to point out here is the way this stop loss functionality or trailing stop loss functionality works in MetaTrader 4 is before your stop loss will actually start moving with the price, your order has to break even. So the first movement, so if your order is in like currently negative profit, then the stop loss won't move. But so if say you open the order here and the price goes down, then your trailing stop won't activate. Even if the stop loss is like 100 points away and you set it to 20, it won't move closer to the order. The first time when the trailing stop will activate is when your order goes into break even, and there you saw that stop loss actually moved up a little bit. Just keep an eye on it, and if the price goes up a bit more, you will notice how the stop loss is moving, and it keeps moving up. So I can even put a marker here. So we haven't discussed this yet, but I'll put a marker here, and then we can further down in the course I'll show you how to use these. So there I'm pointing at the stop loss, and if the price moves up, we will see how the stop loss moves away from this arrow. Anyway, so what I was saying is that in order for the trailing stop to activate, the price has to move far enough away from the order for exactly that amount of trailing that you specified in the trailing stop. So the first movement of the trailing stop will be into break even. So if you set the trailing stop at 20 pips, so if we select here 20 points, there you go. There you saw that the price moved up and the trailing stop moved up with the price. There you go. That happened again. Do you see that? Yep, it's happening. So as the price is moving up, the stop loss is following the price. So that is how the trailing stop works. There we go. There it happened again. All right. So back to the wow. You see how quickly that is happening? Yeah. Okay. All right. Might give it a second. There seems to be a movement, and so we're securing with this. We're automatically securing more and more and more profit as the price moves in our favor. And that is a valuable concept. It's not necessary in every single trading strategy, but some trading strategies can benefit from it. And as you can see, it's moved it up quite a way, like quite a bit up. And we don't have to do anything. Like we can be looking at other charts. It's just going to be doing that for us in the background. The only thing that you have to do, or the only condition is that for this to work, your trading terminal has to be on. So this functionality of the trading stop is not built into your order, it's built into the trading terminal. So the onus is not on the trade server to monitor your trailing stops, it's on your terminal. So as soon as you close your trading terminal, your trailing stop will stop working. So just bear that in mind. It's a bit different to where the stop loss is maintained and where the trailing stop is maintained. Okay, so finally, what I was trying to say is that, or the message I was trying to convey is that for your trailing stop to start to activate, the price has to move in your favor, and it has to move that exact amount of pips that you specify for the trailing stop. So if you specify 50, then the trailing stop will only activate when you have 50 points of profit. If you specify 100, your trailing stop will only activate when you have 100 points of profit, and then your trailing stop will move into the break-even zone and will start moving with the price if the price goes up. So that's how this trailing stop works. As you can see, it's not moving as the price goes down, and sooner or later the order will be closed because there will be a retracement or a reversal in the market, and it will cross the stop loss, and the secured profit will be this. But at the same time, that doesn't prevent you from closing the order manually right now, and also does not prevent you from setting a take profit for the order. So you could set a take profit up here. Maybe let's do that. So I'm going to take the order, press Alt, set a take profit. So there we go. So now it has a take profit as well, and if the price ever reaches the take profit, the order will be closed, or if the price reverses and reaches a stop loss, the order will be closed, and in this case it will be closed at a profit. That's how trailing stops work, and that's how you can use them in MetaTrader 4. I'm actually really happy we had this live demonstration, and the price did go in our favor, so we could see in reality how it works. So that was a great thing, and I look forward to seeing you on the next tutorial. Until then, happy trading. Hello and welcome back to the course on MetaTrader 4. And back in the terminal today, we're going to be looking at how we can create and work with pending orders. So first off, we're going to close the orders that we have here. Let's get rid of them to make some space. Metaphorically speaking, of course, you can have as many orders as you like. Just for practice sake, it'll be better for us to close these orders. That way we will see more in our terminal tab. terminal window. All right, so those orders have been closed. If we look in the account history, we've got a good mix of orders already. So if I expand this, you'll see we've got some take profits, some stop losses, some manual closures, and so on. And now we're going to move on to working with pending orders. So let's select a chart. Let's select one of the ones that have a white background so that we can see a bit better. So maybe let's work with this chart, but we will practice that technique of dragging a different currency pair. Let's take the British pound dollar and drag it in here. And there we go. So that's the new currency for this chart. All right, so now let's expand this chart. There it is, our British pound dollar M15 time frame. And what we want to do is we want to set a buy stop order at this level somewhere over here. So let's say 1.53165. And to do that, we go into new order, and here in the drop down, instead of market execution, we're going to say pending order, and it's going to be a buy stop order, and it's going to be at 1.53165. 1.53165, and all you have to do is click place. All right, so there's our buy stop order, and you can also see it here down in the trade tab of the terminal window. It's over here, and notice that it is underneath this gray line for balance and equity and free margin, and that is because it is a pending order, and that's where they're placed. They're placed underneath that line. Now, if you want to modify the order, you right-click it, click Modify or Delete, and here you can set a stop loss for the order. You can set a take profit for the order. So let's maybe do that. We'll set a stop loss because it's a buy order. The stop loss needs to be below, and the take profit needs to be above. Once again, the stop level is in play here, so we're going to click Modify. Okay, so now you see that this is a buy stop order. It has a stop loss and a take profit, and if the price ever reaches this level, it will actually trigger this order, and it will become a buy order with this stop loss and this take profit. Also, if you like, you can set a trailing stop for the order. So basically, you're preparing an order for the future. That's what you're doing here. And same thing, you can use dragging techniques. So you can drag around your stop loss and your take profit. In this case, you can actually even drag the order itself because it's not a market order. It doesn't exist yet. You can drag the order. As you can see, as I drag it, the stop loss and take profit will move with the order. So let's go ahead and let's say I want to move it up a little bit. Once I move it up, everything moves up a bit. So very convenient like that in MetaTrader 4. You don't have to fix everything up. So if your analysis changes and it tells you that, oh, actually this pending order should be much closer to the market, go ahead and move it down there, and now it's much closer to the market. So you can see that the stop loss is still there. All right, so that's our buy order. If we want to get rid of it, all you have to do, this is our buy stop order. All you have to do is click this X sign or right click and go to Modify or Delete Order. You'll see the same result. The window will pop up because one-click trading is disabled for us right now. And all we have to do is click delete and it's gone. So it's not here. And if you go into account history, you will see that it's here at the bottom. This is our buy stop order. And here it's been canceled. So there you go. That's the comment that MetaTrader 4 places there for you when you cancel a pending order. So let's quickly go and try the remaining three types. Let's try a sell stop. In order to set a sell stop, we're going to right click and we're going to say trading, and here you can actually select the sell stop right away. So instead of going into new order, you can select a sell stop. This is designed for the one-click trading functionality. So if you want to set a sell stop of one lot right away, you can do that. But because one-click trading is disabled for us, when we click that, a window will pop up, and this window will prompt us to confirm that sell stop that we're setting. But in this case, we can actually adjust it a bit, which is great. We can change the lottage, and we can say let's say 0.5 lots. We can set the sell stop, and here you can specify the stop loss right away if you like. So set a stop loss somewhere up there, and let's say we don't want to take profit. Place the order. There we go. So there's our sell stop, this green line, and that is our stop loss. And once again, just like with the buy stop, you can move it around and achieve the same results. Okay, so let's go ahead and close this one now. So modify or delete. All right, so now we want a buy limit order, right? So the one where if the price goes down and bounces off and then it goes back up. So in order to do that, you can right click, you can go into trading, buy limit, or you have the buy limit right here, or you can go into new order. There's lots of ways you can set this order. You select that, and then, so this is a buy limit, it's already selected for you over here. The prices have been specified, and then you just place the order. There we go. So now what will happen is you can see that the buy limit is below the price. So if the price reaches it, then a buy order will be created over here. So I'm going to delete this. You can right click and just select delete, and it'll be deleted, and you delete the order. Okay, now we have one more, which is the sell limit is going to be over here. Right click, sell limit, place. There is our sell limit, but be careful because this one has a lot of 1. So if you want to change the lot, you delete the order and just say sell limit, but this time specify the lot that you want to place. Okay, so there's our order, and we're going to delete this order as well. So finally, what I wanted to show you is what happens if you make a mistake, right? So if I go into trading, new order, and then I say I want to set a buy stop order. So buy stop orders are usually set above, but I accidentally confuse a buy stop and a buy limit order, and I try to set the buy stop order underneath. So let's try that out. So let's go to pending order, and we're going to say buy stop, but we'll set it below the price. So we'll say somewhere down there. What happens then? You hear the sound. That's right. You hear the sound of an error, and it says invalid stop loss or take profit. This message actually also means when there's an error when you're setting a pending order, so you get the same message. So sometimes you can be a bit confused by this because there is no stop loss or take profit. How can they be invalid? Well, that's simply just because you are setting a buy stop order below the price, or so you're kind of confusing limit and stop orders. That will happen if that is the case. So there we go. That's how you set pending orders in MetaTrader 4. Remember to abide by the stop level. It not only it applies to stop losses and take profits, it also applies to pending orders. You cannot set a pending order within close proximity to the current market price, and that proximity is defined by the stop level. And I look forward to seeing you next time, and until then, happy trading.